So first thing first, let's load the data into Power BI. So this is the data which we are going to visualize. Okay, so let's click on load. So now we have a data set loaded, as you can see on the right side on data column. Okay, so now let's visualize our first visualization. Okay, and let's uh, build a bar chart. Okay, let's visualize top tracks. Okay, of Rihanna. Okay, so let's do that. Clicking on bar chart. So in x-axis we are going to add uh, total streams, okay, of Spotify, and in y-axis we are going to have track name. Track name. Renaming it. Okay, rename it to track name. Okay, total streams. That's more apt. Total streams. Okay, and now going to format this visual. Going on general, going on title, and then top tracks. Okay, we'll do further more visualization, more aesthetic changes over here. Okay, depending on how our dashboard gonna transmute. Okay, so let's leave it as it is as of now. Clicking on values from gray to black, bold, making it Arial black. That's more apt. Okay. Okay. And then similarly with y-axis, black font, Arial black, making it bold. Going on title, going to font, clicking on bold. Perfect. Okay, so now let's fastly move to second visualization. So okay, let's first talk about this. So this resulted in 15 tracks, okay, ranked by streams top to bottom, as you can see. Okay, Disturbia got the Disturbia remix 34, Disturbia remix 49, We Found Love, and different time, different kind of remixes are taking over. And then Umbrella, and then got Love the Way You Lie, then got We Found Love. So as you can also see the total streams over here. Okay, and by track number. Okay, so this is for the most part a pretty, like, not exact data, but this is a good reference point if you're learning Power BI. Okay, exact statistics, exact figures would be different, no, of course, but this is a very beginner dashboard, so it's good, if you're creating such data sets yourself and building dashboard of your favorite musician, so it gives you a more sort of a kick, more sort of a vibe. It helps you in building dashboards, in taking Power BI more easily. So let's come to the second visualization. Okay, so that's going to be albums. Okay, albums, and we'll use column chart over here. So I've used a column chart over here, and in the x-axis I'm going to have album. Okay, and in y-axis I'm going to have total streams. Okay, perfect. Making it more clustered. Okay, so as you can see, album number 2 got more streams, 3 and then 5, then 4, then 6, and then 1. Okay, and so yeah, so right clicking. Okay, okay, and so yeah, this was all about, yeah, so each album shows total streams, okay, over here as a vertical bar, as you can see. Okay, so yes, so this was about albums breakdown. So album number 2 got the maximum streams, then 3, then 5, then 4, then 6, then 1. Okay, so then renaming it total streams. Okay, album. Okay, and then going to x-axis, doing the similar uh, routine again, clicking on font, Arial black, clicking on bold. Okay, and then Arial black, perfect. Keeping it bold, aligning it. Okay, visual. Similarly, I'm gonna do with y-axis. Going to values, clicking on black, clicking on bold, going to font, clicking on Arial black, then clicking on title, then clicking on Arial black, then clicking on font. Perfect. Okay, and so now fastly moving forward to the third chart. Uh, okay, okay. So now coming down to the third visualization, which is going to be popularity by genre. Okay, so here we're gonna use column chart again. Okay, so should I use cluster one or okay? Let's use the stat one. Okay, so over here we're gonna insert genre into the x-axis, as we are going to visualize popularity by genre, and in the y-axis we are going to put popularity score. Okay, perfect. Keeping things simple. So, and we're going to have average of it. Okay, 62% people like dance pop, 70% R&B, and 72% pop. So there isn't much difference visually. You must be seeing, things are not that visible, but still there's difference. Okay, and let's see cluster chart. Okay, that's much better. Okay, and okay, so now renaming the labels. Popularity score bracket average. Okay, and okay, next axis, of course, it's all genre. Okay, so going to format our visual, going to x-axis, doing the similar task again, black, We'll align things later on as the user interface and design of the dashboard gonna change. Title, should I show title? Let's remove that. And in y-axis title, let's remove that. Okay, okay, let's keep only title of the overall visualization, and making it black, changing into Arial black, aligning it in the center. Perfect. Okay, uh and so yes, so this is there, and then I'm gonna have another visualization now, which is going to be genre distribution. So I'm going to create a pie chart to distribute which genre for the most part attracts uh, most streamings. Okay, so clicking on pie chart, and then we're gonna have in axis I'm going to sorry, in the pie chart I'm gonna have legend, so I'm gonna have genre. Okay, so this is genre distribution for the most part. Okay, so renaming it in caps. Perfect. Okay, and in values I'm gonna have track name, which particular track by genre. Okay, renaming it track name. Perfect. So going over here, going on legend, going on title, genre, text, black, font, Arial black, switching it off. Perfect. Keeping things clean. That's the goal. Okay. Genre distribution. Switching it on. Font is black. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Uh yeah. So it's all okay, I guess. I don't want any detail labels. It looks a bit ugly, I guess. Yeah, so it's all good. So I think I should add KPIs also, make place for KPIs also, and I'm gonna have one more dashboard. So let's make space for another dashboard. Yeah, making it compact. Okay. So I'm gonna add another dashboard which is streams over the time. Okay, so I'll be using line charts for it. So clicking on line chart. Okay, and then on line chart, I'm gonna have a release date in X axis. Okay, release date, and I'm gonna have Spotify daily streams. Okay, in mm, Y axis. Okay, so I'll do that by year, not by month or quarter, by year. That's more clean. Day, or maybe let's do it by month. Okay, and some, or we can also use average, but let's uh, see. uh, okay, so let's do some only. Okay, and Okay, I'm gonna go to x-axis over here. I'm gonna values is important, title is not, and similarly I'm gonna put it black. Perfect. I'm going to x-axis. Okay, going to y-axis, switching off the title. uh, hmm. Okay, now going to title over here of the card, then changing streams over time. Perfect. Now going to font, changing Arial black, aligning it in the center. Okay, and now I'm fastly gonna come to KPI cards. Okay, so let's click on the KPI card, keeping things simple for the beginners to learn fastly. And so I'm gonna add monthly listeners over here or something else. What should I do? So let's have Spotify daily streams as KPI card. 132 million daily streams. Okay, Rihanna is getting. So that is like more sort of like not exact figures would be changing, and this is again I'm telling you this is not up to date data set. This is I'm using just as a reference, but the backing point is real statistics. Okay, so total streams, Spotify daily streams. Okay, sorry, daily streams. Okay, and going over here, calling at value, category label off, title is going to be title on daily streams, switching font to Arial black, making it bolder, aligning it in the center. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy this KPI card. I'm gonna paste it over here, and for the next KPI I'm gonna add uh, making it I would like to find the average popularity of Rihanna. Okay, so for that I need popularity score. Okay, I'm gonna add it, making it average. So the average popularity score is 68.11. Okay, so now switching off the category label is already switched off. Perfect. And going to journal, then average popularity. Okay, and okay, okay, so now let's add another KPI card, which is going to be I would like to find out total number of tracks. So for the most part in these kind of data sets I'm using 48, 49 or 50 total songs. Okay, so of course the real number would vary, right? But still, so I'll use track name over here, and it would be around 49, I guess, counting distinct number of tracks 53. Okay, so count of track is around 53. Nice. So but somewhere around this number, of course the real number would be different, right? These artists have been in the game since so long. So but I'm using like more sort of a reference point data sets, not backed by like they are like backed by some kind of research, but not like too much of analytics I've put into it, because these are beginner dashboards for the most part. Okay, so for real authentic stuff you need to do, the data, you need to build your own data set. But for practicing, these kind of dashboards are pretty useful, these kind of data sets are pretty useful. Okay, so total tracks. Perfect. Now add one more KPI. What should I add? Okay, and I think mm, balance and so mhm. I think release date is the Spotify total streams. I think that's about it. Or number of genres. I don't know. No. So I think that's about it. And so now let's make the dashboard more beautiful. Okay, more aesthetic. So let's start it. So I'll put some images into it. I've already shortlisted a few images. So let's try that. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna have it over here. And so let's change the canvas background to black. So this is just initially, and later on of course maybe I'm gonna change the color, but I'm just seeing how does it all look. So I've got another few PNGs I've built over the period. So let's see which one aligns. hmm Of course it's not visible, but of course later on I'm gonna change the background also. Let's put it a bit more grayish color. Hmm. Let's see. And I've got some album cutouts also. Doesn't have to be over the dashboard itself. Hmm. What else could be added? Spotify logo, of course, I'm going to use. So let's put Spotify over there, over here. Let's stretch it a bit. Okay, let's also put headphone PNG. Okay, and let's add the face cut of Rihanna, the small emoji. Okay, this looks pretty apt. Enlarge it a bit, align it over here. Okay, 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 and let's put it over here. Okay, and over here. Or yeah, okay, and so I've also got one more figure over here. I don't know I should add it or not. I don't know. Hmm. Okay, removing it. Inserting the image again. Hmm. Okay, Hmm. Okay. So, and also I need to change the background. I think I need some black color, I guess. Okay. Or some other color. I should try. Uh, okay. This one's okay. So, yeah, so the orange color is good, I guess. And so let's revamp the cards now. Okay. So the visualizations now. Going to journal according to the background, I have to change things. Then background color, okay, let's keep it orange. Switching visual order, shadow white, visual order this one, rounded corner 20 px, or should I increase it? Okay, and hmm, and of course title color has to be changed now to white, and similarly with access, and okay. Does it look okay? I guess so. Yes. Okay. And going over there, some other color could also be chosen. Hmm. Okay. Let's see. I'm just trying different stuff over here to see what's gonna click. Hmm. Let's increase the. Okay. This looks okay, I guess. Similarly, doing with. Going over here, pink we choose. Okay. Switching on visual border. Okay. Shadow on, keeping it white. 30 px orange. Okay. 82%. Okay. And of course, the detailing has to be in title and all has to be in white color. Okay. Going to visual, going to legend, and to title. Detail labeling is off. Slices color is there. I'll see that if I have to change. slices color or not. White. Okay. And then coming over here, uh, similarly, first of all white, and background is orange, transparency is around 80% plus. Visual border on, okay, and shadow on, white. Similarly with other cards, visual border on, white, sorry, shadow on, white. Color has to be orangish. Text color white, aligned. Okay, x-axis values, clicking on white. Y-axis values, clicking on white. Okay, title off, y-axis, title off in x-axis. Okay, and similarly with this jar visualization, giving it orange, transparency 82, 83, visual border on. Okay, rounded corners as much possible, shadow on, color is white, text color white, visual text color white, x-axis white, switching off title, similarly with other axis. Okay, and similarly I'm gonna do with the KPI cards. I think these are a bit more lighter in color. Pink. Okay, sorry, I messed it up a little. Okay, and then okay, 80 to 83, somewhere around that. Okay, now similarly with the cards, KPI cards, background color has to be pink, transparency 80 to 83%, visual border on. Okay, as much as possible, shadow on, it has to be white. Okay, text color has to be white. Okay, visual, it has to be white. Going over here, clicking on black, clicking on white. Initially I'm just doing it, but later on, of course, if changing the color of the KPI cards is required, I'm gonna change that too. So going to pink, 80 to 83%, 84, let's do it. Visual border on, as much possible, visual shadow on, keeping on white, and changing the value colors also to white. Now going on daily streams, first of all changing it to white, going on over here, going to white, Background color pink, 80 to 83% around. Visual border on. Shadow white. Okay. So and then what else? Yeah, let's change the background color and see if some other color would look good. Hmm. I don't know. Uh, red. Hmm. So you have to try such things yourself to see what clicks or what not. So yeah, this looks okay. So and then let's try some effect over here. Shadow. Should I add white? Okay. 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 And similarly, I'm gonna add some shadow over here also. Background off, white. Okay. So it gives a bit overlap touch. Okay. Now clicking over here, going to effects, shadow on. Perfect. So I think there are a lot of like different things you could do with such dashboard. Not necessarily like you have to go as accordingly as like I've done. You could do changes according to your own taste. So like you could do similar stuff on other artists also. Create a dummy data set which aligns with real world data and then do your stuff accordingly. You know and so yeah, this was all about that, I guess. Okay, stay tuned for other tutorials.